All right, everybody. How is everyone doing? Welcome to episode 10 of the Raiders Report. We're in double digits. Very cool that we were able to get here. I'd really like to thank the Raiders organization for kind of giving me the freedom to run this show here and thank the guests for coming on. Thank all you guys for listening. Yeah, just really happy to have been able to do this and can't wait to continue. And we have a great guest already here for episode 10, Craig Cowie. Craig played 5 seasons with the Nepean Raiders a couple years back, reaching the playoffs 4 times, and even winning with the Raiders in 2012. So that's awesome. It doesn't even stop there. Craig has the franchise record for all-time points and is fifth in all-time scoring in the franchise. So yeah, man, honored to have you on. Thanks for coming. And how are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's tough times right now, but just working every day, doing my thing. So,
Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of on that same boat for sure. So where are you at these days?
so I'm actually I live in Hamilton.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I when I went to school in Philadelphia, there, I actually met my wife, who is from Hamilton. So, I've lived here for 4 years now, and yeah, so I'm just currently in
That's awesome.
Hamilton, working away.
Nice. Yeah. So you met another Canadian in Philly. Was that like something that happened a lot or?
Yeah, you kind of, I mean, at least out of my school, I think at least the guys on my team, there was, you know, I think maybe seven guys from Ottawa.
Oh, really? Wow.
Um, yeah, seven guys from Ottawa, and I think my dad coached maybe four of them growing up.
Wow.
So yeah, I knew that was kind
That's
of one of the
hilarious.
reasons why I went there. It was
Okay. Yeah.
a lot of comfortable
Mhm.
and knowing those guys, and I played a bunch against a couple of those guys in the CJ. So knowing them was a lot of guys from CJ. It's good to know familiar faces.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna want to get into your time,
Yeah,
playing there, but just to start us off, I'll kind of start off with the Rangers or with the Raiders. Sorry, and playing in Ottawa. Did you come up playing in Ottawa, in the city, or in Nepean?
yeah. I'm a Nepean boy from Barhaven.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so we played for Nepean Raiders minor hockey all the way up,
How was that
and
experience in the minor before even getting to?
no, it was good. I mean, you meet a lot of your friends for your lifetime friends. Um, played minor hockey there, and it was great. I was able to have my dad as a coach for maybe 2 or 3 years in minor hockey.
Oh, okay.
So it was a great experience, and it was even greater experience having being able to play junior A in my hometown. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's definitely a cool experience to have. How was it playing as a kind of a father as a coach? What was that dynamic like?
Uh, you know, we had no problem. He coached both me and my brothers.
Oh, okay.
I got two older brothers. He
You weren't the
coached
first
all of
then.
us at some point. Yeah, exactly. I'm the youngest of them. So, no, it was great. He had same mentality, whether I was his son or not his son. It was team first kind of thing, and he just always wanted to win. So it didn't matter if he had to sit me on the bench or bench me, whatever.
Right.
It's he was a winner. So no, it was a great relationship. Obviously, he wants the best for us, but being on winning teams helps that, and his teams usually won in minor hockey, so it really helped me get a look in the future.
Yeah, would you say like I'm interested in by that winning aspect. Is that something that maybe helped you get that winning mentality, getting that from your father?
Yeah, for sure. It's not only him. Uh, you know, my mom was pretty competitive herself. She
Oh,
played
okay.
sports growing up, so I guess it was just in my genes to kind of have a team mentality first, and whether that meant you know playing 3 minutes a game or playing 40 minutes a game, it was team first, and it definitely helps having that mentality because you know especially coaches and teams, they want guys that are team players, not
Right.
individuals.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Awesome. Yeah. Just going into your time with the PN, obviously, kind of a big part of that organization, playing there for a few seasons. How did you end up getting to Nepean in the CJ, and how was that experience for you?
Yeah, so I was well, actually it started before I even kind of was part of the organization. My oldest brother Matt, he played for 5 seasons there before me. And also Scott played uh, a year there. So I just always being around the rink, watching those guys play was really an eye opener for me and really helped me want to be a part of that organization. At the K point, I don't know what is it, major band or minor midget. I was protected by the Raiders as a 16-year-old. Now I didn't make the team the first year. I was a call up, but no, it was something I definitely wanted to do. Watching, especially my brother, championship 5 years in a row, and just seeing the kind of leader he became with Nepean. It was just something I've always admired and wanted to do. So that was kind of my, I guess, start of it, and then the rest is history from there.
Yeah, the rest is history. I mean, you kind of lit it up. As I mentioned, all the first all-time points, fifth all-time scoring, pretty solid achievements. How was it getting those kind of accolades? Was that something that you thought about a lot, or maybe just kind of something that just happened and you're happy about it?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know about it until you said it. So,
Okay, even better.
the whole the whole points thing again. It's no, like I said, no one, even I don't even remember it. It's the only thing I remember is winning that championship in my
Yeah,
last year. So, I guess it's kind of cool to hear about it, but again, um, I never even knew that. I
that's
don't
awesome.
remember though. I don't remember those parts. I just remember the championship.
The
So.
championships, yeah. Speaking of that success, obviously, you guys got that championship, which I'll get into a little bit, but I think that there's a lot to learn from guys like yourself who've found that success. What kind of maybe um, what kind of tricks or tips or anything for the current roster that you kind of learned being in that winning state that you'd want to pass along some ideas for the guys right now?
Yeah, like I said, I was able to, even before I started there, I was watching games for 4 years with my brother, and those teams, I mean, they made it to the championship every year he played. So, those teams, they didn't finish first every time. I think, there was one year they finished seventh, and they beat I think they beat Pembroke in the second round, who are like one or two in the nation. So just seeing how they fought, it doesn't standings really don't matter until playoff time. So after that, it's whoever wants it more is going to win. So I wouldn't look at standings or reputation of a team. It's just any team can beat any team come playoff time. So that's kind of always the mentality that I tried to bring with teams that I was on. Just play our game, play the best, and see what happens.
Mhm. So, speaking about that success, would you attribute that success maybe to that mentality? Was that something the team kind of felt together? Was you got to battle, battle harder than the other guys? Was that sort of the mentality that helped you guys get to where you did?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it also helped that we had the ownership we had, and Peter Goulet, he came into a pretty sticky situation in I think my second year, but he was probably the best thing that happened to the organization because he had the same mentality. He just wanted to win, and he didn't care how. He just wanted to win, and bring it when you have a leader like that in practices and games. It's a trickle effect down to the players, and he was my last year. He really put a uh, fantastic team out there. You know, I do get credit for some parts about getting all these points and stuff, but the roster that he had and the players that he had, me played with and all this stuff, it's those are the guys that really got the points. It wasn't really myself. Those are the real all stars. So yeah, I had to a lot of it goes, when you have the ownership and the coach that wants the same thing in everybody and wants to win, then it really helps us players come playoff time and whatnot. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no way one guy's gonna score all the goals and get all the points, so you definitely need to be surrounded by some good guys. And it was very clear that the team that you guys had back then was super solid and definitely definitely a team to look up to and in a lot of aspects. So you were captain with the Raiders for your last couple seasons, is that correct?
yes, it is.
So how is it like well, first of all, yeah, how was it like getting the C, but also being that guy in the room?
Yeah, so I think it was a personal goal for myself. Uh, my oldest brother was the captain, and then my brother Scott, he came back from the OHL and he was the captain my first year, my first full year. So I think it was always just a personal goal of myself was to follow in their footsteps and be the third Cowie to wear the C. Um,
That's
and
so
but
cool, by the
you
way.
know, yeah, it is a personal accomplishment that I really look back and remember that. But whether there's a letter on my jersey or not, it was kind of the same mentality. Stay positive. Stick together, and that's how that's how teams win. It's you need everybody to win a game, not just individuals. So it was an honor to wear a C for the jersey for a couple of years, but if I wore an A or if I wore no letter, then I would be the same person either way. So
Mhm. Yeah, that's awesome. I like talking to, captains or former captains because there's always sort of different experiences with that role. What would you say was a really challenging part of that, and maybe what was a really big upside of it?
um, a challenging part, I think going throughout the season, there's always challenges. It's honestly just trying to reiterate, what the coach is saying. And like I said, I had a great coach in Peter Goulet who was really putting our heads to be a team and, team first. So, as a leader, you want to kind of repeat that to the players when the coach isn't around. I feel like, my first year with the learning experience on how to do that, learning to speak up. But, in that last year, guys just bought in and you have to give them the credit, not just myself, because, those guys have to buy into what I'm saying, to buy into what the coach is saying to be successful. And, we had the team to do it. We had some great players on our team. So, yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. Um, so, you talked about, that surrounding team that you had and how much they played into it. Who were some teammates that stood out to you during that time that just maybe pumped their tires a little bit here?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously you can go with the guys that went pro. You can go with Uyghur and Mackenzie Uyghur and Ben Hutton, Vinny Lorca. But the great thing about our team that year was it really took a full team effort. We had my line mates, obviously Kenny Neal and Ryan McLean playing in the OHL. Like those guys are so easy to play with, so smart. But then we had Dalen Hedges come in that year, such a young, talented guy. Brent Norris, he came back from the USHL the year before. Like just a ton of guys skill, but obviously those guys get the credit, just like I did with getting points and stuff. But it's those guys that are, on your kind of lower lines, I guess you'd call them. You got your Mitchell Hurley, who is, probably the year that we won, he was probably the most skilled guy on our team out of everyone we had. But he was in and out of the lineup, a younger guy. But you had guys like Jamie Olivier, Tanner Williams, Sean Altshuler, Brandon Watt. You had all these guys. Dylan Brindamore, backup, who was probably, on starter on half of those teams that year. So it's, you can. It depends the way you look at it. You can look at it as the guys that get the points, but the way I look at it is, those guys play a huge role shutting down other top lines and everything. And that's what really makes winning championship teams. So just that I could give credit to for that year.
Yeah, obviously lots of credit to go around for sure. Huge team effort. And it always is that way. It always is. It's never just a few people. What? I'm just looking at these questions here. I'm trying to pick the right one.
Yeah, no worries.
Um, yeah, just talking about yeah, your playoff experience. How big of a change was it from that regular season, and what was that playoff experience like for you?
Yeah, for sure. It started in my first year. My first year, we made it to the finals. We ended up losing to Pembroke in six, but I think in that you really learn from that because I think that first year I was only playing maybe, I was one of the shorthanded couples that played, but other than that, I was maybe playing 8 minutes a game, just a rookie on the do your part, and then we made the playoffs every time after that, and every year was a different challenge. But yeah, from the regular season, to the playoffs, it's that old saying. It kind of separates the boys from the men, really. It's a battle out there. It just depends who wants it more. Having obviously having a great team and a good set of guys that want the same thing, it really helps. We almost, I think was it my second or third year, we finished seventh. I think it was my third year, we finished seventh, and we played Cornwall and we took them to game seven, I believe. And it's just one of those things you'd hope to win, but it just didn't come out on the right side. But yeah, the difference is basically just whoever wants it more. Like I said, any team could beat any team in the playoffs, but whatever team wants it more is going to win. So
For sure. Yeah, I want to get into that. When that team you guys finally broke through and won, it was against Cornwall, if I'm correct. Was it?
yes, it
Yes,
was.
yeah, it was Cornwall. What do you remember most about that win and sort of that experience?
It was obviously a great experience. I hadn't been to the finals since my first full year, but they had a great team. They had that first line who was it, the Spink brothers and the Borkowski, who I knew personally. I played lacrosse with them for a bit, but that line, they're all going D1. It was
Right.
hard to stop them for sure. But no, it was two well balanced teams. Both teams had four lines that can play with some stud defense on the back, good goaltending. So it went back and forth basically every game, and it's just who's going to bury their chances was basically going to win. And even in game six, we were down 2-1, I think, going into the third, and we just had the confidence. We weren't shook by it or anything. We were down 3-2 in the series, so we needed to win that game, but we weren't shook by it at all, and we just came together. And luckily, Hutton scored, I think, with 3 minutes left in the game,
Oh
or
boy.
he scored the overtime. But we ended up tying it and win that game in Cornwall in overtime to go to game seven. So it's moments like that you really remember.
That's awesome, man. Definitely those kinds of winning experiences they'll stay with you for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, and then you after Nepean you made your way to Newman Knights, if I'm not correct.
Yeah.
What was that experience?
Yeah.
Getting to D3 and getting up there in the States or down there, I suppose.
Yeah, so it was definitely an experience. Like I said, I knew, or there's probably seven guys from
Right.
Ottawa.
That's insane.
A couple guys that my brothers played with growing up. Um, all of them play in the CJ, so I knew a lot of them. And that's why I kind of picked there, because I was familiar with a lot of faces. And then, but yeah, it was, the guys were obviously unbelievable. I wasn't a part of it. I didn't really get along with all the guys. But yeah, the guys were unbelievable. The hockey was good. States, a completely different experience
Right.
from living in Canada. But no, I enjoy my time there. I still keep in contact with some guys from school there. So, it was an experience. I was only there for a year. Decided to go a different way, but yeah, no, I still cherish those memories and still talk to a bunch of guys today. So
Yeah, awesome. Um, just kind of last question about that. What was your kind of your takeaway? Well, I guess I'll ask you what was your takeaway from your time with the Raiders? What was maybe the biggest thing you learned, and also your takeaway playing in the States as well.
yeah, so again, it's just the takeaway was from playing in my hometown was great. It was very easy for my parents and family and friends, I guess, to come watch games. Whenever we played, it was just around the corner. So I think those are the experiences you take. I remember when Pete first came to our team, we had a one-on-one meeting. He asked me if I wanted to get traded, but it wasn't really something I wanted. I wanted to, as much as our team was kind of, um, in the wrong at that time, it was I wanted to stick it out and really try and, you know, follow the same path as my brothers. I really enjoyed watching them a lot. So that's kind of what I take from being with Nepean is obviously the friendships you make with all the guys and stuff. But and then with Newman, it's the same thing. Who would have known I would have met my wife there.
Yeah, that's a big
So
one.
you know, yeah, so I can't say enough of that about that. But even all the guys, like I said, I still keep in contact with a bunch of them, and living in the States, is an experience for sure, and nothing wrong with it at all. But I'm definitely happy to be back in Canada. So,
Right.
but no, it's just as much as you go there for hockey in school, it's the memories you make with the people. So
Absolutely, yeah. And I talk to a lot of guys that, because I've been able to talk to a lot of guys like yourself through this podcast that, it's a pretty good opportunity and privilege for me. But a lot of them, yeah, it's all about that experience. A lot of them bring up that experience, and obviously you go to play and you go to, do your best and compete, but also just the takeaways are a lot of the times it's the people you meet in those experiences that go a long way. So
yeah,
I'm definitely that's definitely cool. I don't think I got one more question for you, and then I'll let you go.
yeah, no problem.
This might be a bit of a curveball. Some guys have had a tough time answering it in the past, but I think you'll be all right. But yeah, I ask this question every time because everybody has a different experience playing, and I think
Yeah,
that there's a lot to learn from every single player. So, and especially guys like you who've found success, and so yeah. So what I find the question I want to ask is if you what piece of advice would you give yourself if you could go back and maybe when you were starting to get serious about hockey, back to a younger self, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to yourself?
oh yeah, for sure. It was just kind of stick with stick with the process. It's I got protected that first year, and I had high hopes for myself. And I didn't make it that first year, but it's kind of really you know it's kind of the first team I didn't really make,
Oh,
growing
okay,
up. So
yeah, yeah.
it was an experience. But they were very still interested, in, like no problem at all with that. But obviously I wanted to play at the highest level. So just stick with the process. Even I think the biggest experience maybe or advice I could give myself, it probably would have been going to university. Actually, is
Oh,
just stick it out. Don't no need to grow up so fast. I didn't go back after I didn't go back after my first year. And at the same time it's like, well, just stick it out, play longer. You got your whole life to grow up, kind of enjoy the times while you can playing hockey, because I haven't played hockey in 2 years, I think. So it's it's one of those things
yeah,
that
absolutely.
it's one of those things that you miss.
Mhm.
So yeah, so maybe just be patient. If you really want it, go after it. So that's probably the biggest advice I'd give myself.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. Like it sounds like, not making that team maybe first time around, probably, a bit of adversity for sure. And but it sounds like you stuck it out and came out on top of that. So that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I'm all done. I don't want to take any more of your time. Again, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. It's awesome for me to get to talk to guys like you who have that experience. So I really appreciate it, and good luck and take care.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Bye bye.